set up correctly. If for some reason you can't hear me or can't see me, please comment and let me know. I should be able to see your comments. Anyway, I've had a really long and really busy week. I had some kind of GI problems going on and was at the doctor. Then I was at the ER. Thought it was my gallbladder, thought it was my appendix. Turned out to be none of that. But it has since resolved. So I don't really know what it was, but I'm better now. So that's all that matters. Um, anyway, like I say, I've been crazy busy. Just had a lot going on. I haven't even really had time to sit down and work. I did have a couple of Etsy orders that I got for sleep masks. This is one unicorn sleep mask and the cat sleep mask. And these are the child size. I don't know if you can tell kind of how big they are. It would probably fit me, but I don't know if it would be quite wide enough. But yeah, these are the child size. So I've got to get those shipped out. Not sure exactly what I want to get into tonight. I've been kicking around a few ideas. I saw there was a lady on the Planet Applique Facebook group, and she was talking about she did a mashup of, I believe it was the Swaddle Sweetie head, and I don't remember what body she used, but the body she used has feet kind of built into it, like the bottom of it is curved, so it looks like kind of two legs that come down, just a pillow body. And then she took arms and put those on it, just sewed them into the seam of it. But I can't remember what body she said she used. And I was going to try to do that, but I don't have that body. I was going to use the little baby stuffy deer that was a freebie, I think, on Planet Applique. But I didn't realize that the head was connected to it. It's all one piece. So yeah, anyway, I'm kind of experimenting with trying to do some mashups. I've got some in the hoop, like a dog and stuff like that, that's from Designs by Juju. And I was going to try to mash those up, but I don't know. I couldn't get anything to really work how I wanted it to work. So I'm probably just going to have to bite the bullet and just buy the type of body I want and then do the Swaddle Sweetie head with that. So anyway, like I say, I'm not really sure what I want to get into tonight. I really want to make a holly dolly, but I'm out of doll joints. I've got to order some on Friday. Gotta wait till payday. I'm trying to get this thing fixed where I can see my comments. Okay. Sorry, this is not wanting to cooperate with me. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let me pull up. I'm looking at my computer right now. I was gonna see because I want to do some more of the dolls. I know there were several people that wanted an Evangeline the Elephant tutorial. I don't think I have enough gray, which I guess I could really use any color, but I don't have gray Minky on hand. But yeah, I'll do an Evangeline at some point. I want to do another Lenore the Lamb too, because I've only made that one once and it came out horrendously. So I want to do another one of those at some point. Of course, there's lots of doll accessories too. The Holly Dolly has a bunch of accessories. She's got a dress, shoes, socks, and a suitcase. And I think on the directions it says that the shoes, the Holly Dolly shoes, can also fit Juno, April, and is it Willow? I think is the other one, the little fairy doll. I think that's the other one. But it says the shoes can fit that. I really want to do the Abby doll, but it does not have directions with it. and it's a little bit tricky. Because for the most part, I can figure out what it is. The only part that I'm not sure about is the doll back. If anybody's made the Abby doll, feel free to chime in. Um, like I said, the back is square, which is throwing me off, or rectangle, I guess, not square. Um, I messaged Planet Applique a while back about directions for the Abby doll, and I have not heard back from her. And I know she was getting a lot of messages about directions for the doll bed, which she did go and upload. So if you have the doll bed, that was one of the freebies, I think. But if you have that, I believe the updated version does have the instructions for the doll bed. And I did a tutorial for the doll bed. It's somewhere floating around on the internet. I think it's in the Planet Applique group. Um, it's a little tricky at first, but once you do one, it kind of makes sense. So once you kind of know what your end goal is, it's like, oh, okay, it makes sense. So it's not too hard. Sorry, I'm about to die of thirst. Oh, I've been so thirsty today. So anyway, yeah, like I say, the only ones I haven't made are the Holly Dolly and um the Abby doll of the ones that I have. Um which really I might do some of these little small, like the loveys, to kind of show how you do that. I want to do some Easter stuff too. I know Planet Applique has the Beatrice Bunny, which I believe also comes with. Well, I don't know if it comes with it. Maybe separate, but the little Easter basket and the Easter eggs, which is super cute. Um, and those could probably be personalized as well too, which would be adorable. Um, let's see. I'm not sure exactly what I want to make. I've got so many designs, and I just don't even know where to start. Let's see. I do have some designs for quiet books. If you're not familiar with a quiet book, it's basically it's for kids. It's a book that's just made out of felt, and it's got a bunch of little like cutout pieces that you can just put in different scenes, or like I made one for my daughter, and it's like cookies, and you put them in the oven, and like each cookie has like one chocolate chip, two chocolate chips, and you match it to the number. There's like a sock color matching one, and you put them in the washing machine. Lots of good ones. I got all of those designs from Etsy. I can't remember the shop name off the top of my head, but she's got a lot of really, really cute quiet book designs. Just trying to see what all I have. I want to make another one for my daughter, because the one I made, it was just kind of my trial and error one. And the felt I used was really soft and really cheap, and it did not work very well. So if I do it again, I'm going to probably, I don't know, do something else. I don't know if I want to use vinyl and like sticky, like Velcro pieces possibly sewn on or something, but I don't know. Because the felt, if you use the really thin, like the Walmart felt, it's really bad about just kind of stringing out over time. It doesn't work super well. So anyway, I've got to kind of do some trial and error with that. I don't know what I want to make. There's some really good baby designs on Designs by Juju. She's got bibs, burp cloths. I think this diaper clutch I have came from there, I believe. There's a bib. I even have one that's a passy pod. Oh, I almost forgot. I don't remember if I made the unicorn booties on the live or not last time. I think I did. But either way, I got them done. They're not in here, but they actually turned out really good. and I made the 7-inch, and my daughter wears a size 7 shoe, and they fit her perfectly. So I'm pretty sure that the inches correspond with the shoe size for the unicorn baby booties from Planet Applique. And she also has, I think, deer, yeti, snowman, gingerbread man. Um, I don't know. She's got a few different ones. I know she's got another one, but I can't think of what it is. Um, but they're really cute. Doing it at first was a little confusing, especially trying to figure out the elastic and everything. But once I got one done and kind of figured that out, I was like, okay, and it wasn't too bad. So don't feel too intimidated by it. As long as you can just sit and focus on the directions. Um, if you have a little bit of sewing experience, it makes it a little bit easier. Um, but yeah, they weren't too hard. I don't know, you guys. I got on because I was wanting, I don't know, I may just break down and make the Holly Dolly because I really want to. Okay, I think I'm going to. Let's see. And it's a little bit confusing on the Holly Dolly files because if you go to the 18-inch doll, there's 6x10, 8x8, 8x12. And they all have their own things, obviously. But there's also 2 sets of arms, one that's just like a little, like a mitt like that, and then the other one actually has fingers. And then there's ears, and then there is the torso piece, and they are for, let's see, the 6x10, 8, yeah, 6x10 and 8x12 hoop. So there's only one of those files, so I like to sort mine out by size. But I just left those out because, like I said, they're for both sizes, even though I usually just do the 6x10 because that's the biggest my machine will do. Okay. So let me get this loaded in here. I really want to order some hair, like some, not real hair, but looks like real hair, from Etsy for the Holly Dolly. They have some really, really cute different types of hair. They have some that's like purple, it's rainbow colors. They had some that's like pastels, really cute. Okay, let me see what I got going on my USB drive. Okay, so for the Holly Dolly, you should have, let's see, you have the back of the head, the ears, the arms, 2 legs, which on my machine, the arms stitch together. If you're using a smaller hoop, you probably have to stitch each arm separately. And then the torso, and then you do have to go to the faces file, which is separate. And there's 3 faces, Kaden, Nicole, and Ruth Ann. I'm not sure which one I want to use. I think the only thing that really varies is the eyes. There's glasses and freckles and whatnot built into each one. So you can just skip through whatever you don't want. I'm torn of what I want to do. Let me see what she has in her picture because I like the eyes on hers. So I think on her Holly Dolly, the one that is the one that's in the picture on the tutorial, she actually put fake eyelashes on it, so it looks a little bit more realistic. But on the faces that are available, it has I'm losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. It has built-in eyelashes. I think I have a folder for extra Holly Dolly faces too. Yes, I do. Which I think those came with the freebie a while back. It was like spend $20 and you get like all the Holly Dolly accessories for free or something like that. It's been a while back. But the additional faces are Ava, Ivy, and Mallory. And when I say faces, I mean the whole head. So whatever you want it to be, it has to be, that's the whole head. Like I say, I'm pretty sure the only thing that varies is the eyes. I think the mouth is the same on all of them. I'm kind of leaning towards the Ava face right now. I think that's the one I'm going to do. I can't decide which one I like. I'm so indecisive. I'm sorry. I'm like pulling teeth trying to get me to make a decision. So yeah, if you got the Holly Dolly freebie, then you should have 6 faces. 3 come with the design, and then 3 were with the freebies. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this one. Go back and see what the name of it is. Okay. Ivy, I think. I'm torn between Ivy and Ava. I like how they both look. I feel like the eyelashes on Ava are just a little bit much, so we're gonna go with Ivy. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna worry about trying to make any of the dress or anything like that right now because that's too much. And for the wigs, there's 2 different options. You can either do a yarn wig or they have a design for a wig cap. I'm not familiar with using a wig cap. I want to learn how. I think it's for using, I guess they call it like wefts of hair, like the little strips. And you attach those to the wig cap and then put the wig cap on. I think. Don't quote me on that. But I think that's what it is. So let me be sure I've got all my pieces. So I have the back of the head, the ears, the arms, which are in 1 hooping on mine. They could be in 2 hoopings if you're using a smaller hoop. Have the Ivy face / head. It's all one thing. 2 legs and the torso. So let me get this over to my machine. And I'm going to pull up these directions and we will figure this out together. I'm thinking this is going to be basically the same construction as all the other dolls and animals I've made. So hopefully it's not too bad. Okay. And I will try to get this camera turned around once I start stitching so you guys can see what I'm doing. Get it in. There we go. Okay. Let me go ahead and change my bobbin because it's not all the way out, but I hate getting halfway through a project and having to stop and take it out and change it. So I just go ahead and change it now. Clean out my machine, get any fuzzies out. I don't want those clogging anything up. Okay, and like I say, I'm out of doll joints, so I won't be able to fully assemble this tonight, but hopefully on my next video I will have some doll joints in and I can show you guys how it looks assembled. Okay. So let me get this pulled up. Sorry, I'm trying to fit all of this stuff on my screen and I have very limited space. Okay. Okay, so the first step is the arms, it looks like. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to move this over. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the arms, and like I say on mine, they stitch in one hooping, but if you are using a smaller hoop, it'll be 2 hoopings. I think there is even an 18-inch 5x7 doll, or I guess 5x7 hoop, 18-inch doll. So I'm guessing everything stitches separately for that. I don't know how many hoopings that would be for a 5x7. But like I said, I've got a 6x10, so I always just try to squeeze as much into one hooping as I can so I can conserve stabilizer and time. Okay, and then I'm going to get my other fabric ready. This is what I'm going to use for my liner. This I got on sale at Joann's. I was trying to find the edge. It's pretty thick. It's jersey. This was on sale with like their fall apparel fabrics, I think. I think it was only like 75 cents a yard or something. It was really cheap. But you can kind of see how thick it is. It's jersey. And it's thicker than like I guess a jersey knit. I don't even know what you would really call it, but this is almost like what leggings are made out of. It's pretty thick, not quite as thick as leggings. And then I also have this fabric, which I have not even opened yet. This came from Liba Fabrics, Liba on Etsy. This is the doll fabric I've used before, and I was very happy with it. Felt like it stitched really well, so I ordered some more. And they ship pretty fast too. Okay, yeah, so I got, let's see. I got 1 yard and it was $6.95 a yard, so not crazy expensive. And 1 yard will last you forever. Okay, so let me get you guys turned around, and I'm going to stitch the placement stitch for the arms. Then I'm going to put the fabric on, and I'll show you guys how the arms stitch. So let me get you guys turned down here. Sorry, I do not have the best camera set up, so it's just kind of, it is what it is. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Not great, but it's okay. Okay, and this is just going to be the placement stitch for the arms, and I'm doing the arms with the fingers, just because I think it looks a little more realistic. Okay, so there's one arm. I'm going to cut my fabric. Okay, so I'm going to put my piece of liner fabric down like this. I'm just using a white. If your doll fabric is thick enough, you could probably use any color, but this is a little bit thin. So I'm going to go ahead and use the white liner. I'm trying to figure out. There's kind of a top and a bottom to this doll fabric. It doesn't really matter which way you put it. But I can tell, I guess. Okay, so now step number 2 is the support circles. These are for the doll joints. Just be sure your fabric doesn't bunch up. Since there's no tack down stitch, just be sure it doesn't pull. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing except in reverse. So let me get my other 2 pieces of fabric. So this time you want to take your skin fabric and put it, which if there was really a top and a bottom, you would want the pretty sides together. Like I say, it's not super noticeable on this fabric. So you're going to put that like that, and then let me cut my other piece of liner. And then the liner is going to go on top. So it should be liner, skin fabric, liner. Just like a sandwich. Okay, be sure I put this piece up high enough. Okay. Just be sure everything is smoothed out. Don't want any wrinkles, no pulls. Then you just stitch it all together. This is probably going to take a minute to stitch since I did do the finger version. So I apologize that this is going to take a long time. I know it's not super exciting, just watching this stitch, but it's part of it. The file I'm going to do after this is the torso. This is double stitching around the fingers. I don't know if it does it on the whole arm or not. It might. But just to really reinforce it, because obviously when you're flipping those fingers, you're going to have to put quite a bit of force to flip them. And also you can put weighted beads in it too to kind of give it a little bit of weight, a little bit of firmness. But that's optional. Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing again. And like I said, just watch your fabric, be sure it doesn't bunch or anything like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting my pieces for the next step. Okay. Oh, hi, Angela. I am making the Holly Dolly. This is my first time to make it, so we are trekking through this together. But I actually just started, so you haven't missed much. This is the first step. This is just the arms, and I'm doing finger version. There's a finger version and like a mitt version that doesn't have fingers. And the fabric I have in here is 2 pieces of white liner and 2 pieces of doll fabric. And once it's all in there together, it's white liner, skin fabric, and white liner again. So you make a sandwich basically. Okay, we're almost done. A little bit more. My favorite part to stitch is always the head because I like to see the face. Yes, this is the 6x10. I always find it easier just to make the largest size just because it's easier to turn and whatnot. Sometimes getting those little tiny spaces of like the 4x4 or 5x7. I think the smallest size you can do with a Holly Dolly is 5x7. I don't think you can do it with a 4x4. Which I said earlier, if you are doing the 5x7, the arms will probably stitch separately. I don't know if you could fit them in the hoop. I'm trying to see what the measurements are. Yeah, because the 2 like this, which this is a 6x10, but it's a little bit long. So you might be able to if you're doing the 16-inch doll. Okay, so now I'm going to do the torso. Let me be sure I get the right file. Okay, so I'm going to take this out and put a new piece of tearaway stabilizer in here. Okay, get this tightened down. And again, the first stitch is just going to be a placement stitch. I'm going to go ahead and work on tearing out some of the stabilizer and cutting out these arms. Oh, Angela, I just saw your comment. Yeah, and the doll fabric I'm using came from Liba, Liba, Liba Fabrics on Etsy. I've ordered from them twice, and I've been very pleased. I feel like their doll fabric is very good quality, so I definitely recommend them. Okay, and this also stitches a straight line here, which is placement for the fabric. I'm trying to get all the stabilizer out of these arms. It's easier said than done. And I always try to make sure, let me pull this out and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. On the arms, you can see it on the support circles. Stabilizer will get in there. I always try to pull it out before I turn it, because if you don't, it makes it a lot harder to cut and a lot harder to get the doll joint through. So I go ahead and pull it out. Angela, I was reading your comment. I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you asking what do I use my dolls for? Right now, this one is just a practice one. It may end up going to my daughter. I may save it to give as a gift later on. Not sure. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it very well on here, but there's a straight line that's stitched right here. So I'm going to do essentially the same thing I just did, and on the directions it calls for 4 separate pieces of fabric, 2 liner, 2 skin fabric, but I just do 2 pieces, 1 large piece of liner and 1 large piece of skin fabric, and I just fold it in half. I feel like that's just easier than trying to juggle multiple things. Okay, so basically, which I didn't cut these really great. I've said before in previous videos, I'm not a measurer, I'm an eyeballer, which probably means I'll waste way more fabric than I should, but that's okay. Okay, so I know you can't really see it good, but there's a straight line there. So you want this to cover up this line by a decent amount, not a huge amount. Try to pull it over a little bit. You just want to be sure you have enough on this side that you can fold it open and it will cover the whole hoop. So you don't want it to be really short here. You want to be sure it's long enough. I'm trying to get this situated and it's not cooperating. Okay, and so the next stitch is just a tack down, and this is going to leave the opening on the back of the body so you can stuff it. Oh, how much fabric do I need to make a doll? It depends on what size you're using. Less than a yard, I can tell you that much. I have a yard, and I could probably get at least $3 out of it, maybe, or pretty close. So I would say, especially if you're just doing a 5x7, probably a half a yard I would go with. You might could get by with a quarter, but I would do a half just to be sure. Like I say, you won't need a ton. Okay, so now this is all stitched, and this line that just stitched here, I'm going to go in with my scissors and trim close to this and leave a little flap there so you can tuck it in when you stitch it together later on. Let me cut this out. So like I said earlier, this liner fabric I'm using is like seriously thick, so hopefully it works well. Normally I just use my little applique scissors to cut this out, but this is thick enough. I've got to use my fabric scissors. Okay. So this is now what it looks like. I can get my hoop back in here. Oh goodness, it's not going to cooperate. There we go. So you can kind of see, not real great, how I trimmed it on that side. So now you're going to open it up. You're going to lay that white layer down, or whatever color liner you're using, in your skin fabric. You're going to fold it over, and this is going to be the back of the doll because this is going to be open, and that's where you're going to stuff it. And now for the front of the doll, you don't need to make a folded piece. You're just going to do one piece. So let me cut that really quickly, and I will show you. I'm the world's worst at cutting fabric because I always end up going in some crazy direction. Sometimes easier to cut it if you cut kind of into smaller pieces and do that. I don't have a huge area to work with, so sometimes it's just easier for me to do smaller pieces. Okay. Okay, so you're going to take your skin fabric and put it down on top of this. If it has a pretty side will go down. And then I'm also going to cut another piece of liner, put that on there as well. This liner fabric I got is like a huge piece. I got it from Joann's on sale. It is gigantic, but I got a really good deal on it, so I wanted to get my hands on it while I could. Okay, so now your liner fabric is going to go on top. So again, you'll have a sandwich of liner fabric, doll fabric, doll fabric, liner fabric. And just be sure everything is pushed down. If you want to tape this, you can. You don't have to. Just be sure everything is straight and all the edges are covered. Which you'll feel that little ridge kind of in the middle, but that's supposed to be there. And you're just going to stitch it together. And this actually has a neck on it, which is different than a lot of the dolls. I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out. So this is actually going to leave little slits for the doll joints to go through later on. And just watch it when you get to the little ridge right here. Be sure it doesn't catch. Sometimes I stop it and just kind of let it move slowly, so I can be sure it doesn't get caught. Okay, yeah, and you can kind of see how it's pushing right there. I don't know if you can see it really great, but I just lift the foot up, and usually that fixes it. Like I say, just be sure everything stays aligned as it goes around. And I'm cutting this fabric very, very generously. If I actually wanted to take the time to sit down and measure it. I could get by with a lot smaller pieces, but it's easier for me to just cut it quickly. Okay, so we are almost done. This actually might stitch around a second time. I think it does. So it looks like this is really reinforced, which is good. I got caught there for a second. I'm interested to make the legs because the Holly Dolly has like feet. It's kind of looks like she has an ankle. Kind of interested to see how that will turn out. We will figure it out. I'll go ahead and start cutting these arms out. It's going to take me a while to get through all these fingers. And if you're cutting off a lot of scraps, especially of the doll fabric, you can save those and use them for the ears. I do that a lot, just so I don't have to cut a big piece later on. Okay, so we are almost back around. I'm hoping I can squeeze both legs into one hooping, but I don't know if I can. Okay, so there's the torso. Oh, my thread broke. It did. Okay. So it's almost done. I guess it just has to stitch the shoulder. Oh no, it's stitching reinforcement satin stitches. I'm not sure if it's going to do that on all of them or not. I guess so. Okay, so it satin stitches the edge. That way the fabric doesn't pull. I just saw your comment, Angela. I'll probably save one arm and show you guys how I cut it out. I know it just takes a long time and I don't want to have to sit here for 20 minutes making people watch me cut stuff out. I'll get one done and then I'll save one to show you guys later. That way I don't have to keep moving the camera back and forth. And if you feel like you can't cut around the fingers or you're scared to, you can always do the knit version that does not have fingers. And I think both ways look fine. on the home stretch, you guys. We're almost there. It's only got one more left after this. We're almost there. Yeah, cutting out these fingers is very, very tedious. Especially with this liner fabric I use. It's so thick, I have to use my big fabric scissors. So it's a little bit harder to get in those nicks and crannies. Okay, so that is the torso done. And here's my one hand I have cut out so far. It's not flipped, but you'll leave a tab on the back like that and you'll just slip it through there. Okay, so let me take this out. And I think next is the legs. Yes. I want to see if I can squeak both legs into one. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I don't think I can because they're just long enough. So I'm not going to be able to. Which I hate because that means I have to use more stabilizer. Okay. Get my stabilizer in here. Which I might be able to limp 2 legs out of 1 piece of stabilizer, hopefully. I moved the design all the way over to the side, so hopefully it don't stitch a huge hole. Okay. So I've got this. Okay. And dot lines is the first step. You kind of see how long the leg is once it starts stitching. Needle came unthreaded. Sorry, I had to run it back. If I can find my little stitch puller, there it is. This is what I use to fish my fabric out, or not my fabric, my thread when it gets caught. Okay. So, okay, so you're gonna place, I know you can't, I don't think you can really see it on the video, but this is the foot here, and then there's a curved line that's there, and that's like, kind of like the ankle. So you're gonna place a piece of liner fabric and a piece of, I don't know what that is, something green on there. And a piece of skin fabric so it covers that line. You don't want to cover the whole leg, but just that line. Let me cut that out. Hopefully this is long enough. Sorry, my phone's dinging. Okay, so there's that covered. So now let me get my skin fabric. Okay, hopefully this is long enough. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so, okay, you don't stitch this down. Okay. Kind of understanding this vaguely. Okay, so I need shorter. Okay. Okay, now I think I understand. Okay. Sorry, took me a second. Okay, let me cut this and then I'll show you guys. Okay. So now the curved line, I know you can't see it, but it's under right here. So I'm going to also take another piece of skin fabric, line it up, and then another piece of liner fabric. And I'm gonna kind of do the same method that I did for making the back of the doll, where you stitch it and then you unfold it. But in this case, it's gonna make the ankle. Okay, so now the same thing I did with the torso on this part below the curved line, I'm gonna just trim that off, kind of like you're just trimming an applique. And then we'll fold it down and that will make the foot. Okay. So let me turn this so you guys can see better. So I have this now, and this is trimmed. So then you just take this and you're gonna fold it down. Be sure everything is straight. And then I'm gonna do another piece of skin fabric and liner and stitch it together, and that will make the leg. Let me, don't think I need this much. Sometimes if I have a big piece, I just kind of use it and then trim the excess off as I go. Oops, nope, that's wrong. Don't do like me. Just remember the two skin fabric pieces should be touching. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go long ways. Just be sure nothing gets rolled up or caught up or anything like that. Be sure all of your die lines are covered. Everything looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch it all together. Hopefully this works. I'll say I've never done this before, so. And I don't really know why this doesn't have, okay, I was going to say it doesn't have a reinforcement circle for the doll joint, but it leaves a small gap for the doll joint to go through instead of a reinforcement circle. Really watch this the piece when it's coming around. Like I said, watch that ridge and be sure it doesn't get caught. So I just pause it, kind of lift up, and then usually it's okay. They're almost there. The thread broke. Thought it sounded weird. I always run it back and stitch over it again if my thread breaks, just to be sure it's reinforced. I think I'm going to try to squeak the ears on here too, so I don't have to do a whole thing. Sorry guys, I know this is not super exciting, but it is what it is. Can't make it go any faster, unfortunately. Oh my goodness, there's a piece of fuzz. It's driving me crazy. I need to take my hoops off and wash them anyway. Use some Goo Gone. They are beyond nasty. So this is just doing the satin stitches to reinforce the little holes that it made for the doll joints. Which actually, I guess this is reinforcing the ankle, I think. Okay. So there is leg one. Now I'm gonna see if I can't squeak these ears on here. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to trim this to be able to do these ears, but it'll save me from having to do a whole other thing. Okay, so just trimming out a little spot. Actually, okay, cut right up to that. And this is where those scrap pieces come in handy. I can just use a little small piece and use it for the ears. Okay, so I'm just going to take a piece that's folded in half, maybe. So I can find the second ear. Okay, there it is. Okay. So the only things we have left after this are the other leg, the back of the head, and the front of the head. And that should be everything. I'm hoping I can use this extra piece I have over here for the second leg. That way I don't have to do a lot more cutting. And there is a left leg and a right leg, so be sure if you're not stitching them simultaneously, be sure you do the right one. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to figure out the best way to get this in my hoop. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to do another piece. Okay, so let me get this stabilizer in here. Honestly, the thing that takes the longest for this is the cutting out. Because you have to cut out all those little pieces. And it takes forever. Okay. So we're just going to do the exact same thing I just did. First step is just the placement stitch. And when I tear my ears out, I don't cut them apart until I'm ready to use them because I have a tendency to lose them. It's easier to just leave them together. So we're just going to do the exact same thing that I just did. For the second leg, which is where you need your liner fabric and your doll fabric, covering up the curved line. Which I'm hoping I can squeak this out of this piece. I think I can. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up some because I don't need it to be that long. It doesn't really matter what the top looks like at this point, because you're going to go back and fix it later anyway. Which actually, tell you what, let me do this. I'm trying to conserve fabric. I think this will be enough. I think. Okay, so get that on there. Be sure this line is covered. It don't have to be covered a ton, but just be sure that it is covered. And then I'm going to take my skin fabric, and you just want to be sure this is enough that when you fold it down, it covers the rest of the foot. Put that there. This here. And then stitch it together. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the same thing I did earlier and trim around this bottom and fold it down and then add the other piece. Let me trim this. And be sure you trim through all the layers. Okay. So this is what it looks like now. You can see it, maybe. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to get this over here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So now I'm just going to do the same thing. And I cut that way too short because I'm an idiot. Okay. Just take it off and do it again. It would be mine. I was looking at the wrong die line when I was placing it and thought I had enough, but I did not. I might have to cut this with scissors if I can't get this started. Okay, so don't be like me and do this. Okay, I'm going to take this off because I think I can rip it faster. Which actually, I think I'm just going to rip it out of the sterilizer and try again. Okay. We're going to figure this out, guys. Okay. Well, I have this now. So I need to undo this. And then we'll just do that step again. But hey, at least I caught it before I sewed everything together, right? There have been times when I did not catch it, and I am so proud of myself. Then I get to the end and I'm like, crap. And you got to redo it all. Of course, this is not the easiest stuff to pull stitches out of. So you can't just rip it like cotton. You have to sit there and pull like every single one. But hey, now we know. Hopefully I still have enough fabric to use this piece. I guess if not, I can always cut more, but like I say, I try not to waste any more than I have to. Sorry guys, I promise I'm trying to go fast. I'm not a fast stitch puller, but I'm trying. I don't have too much left. Okay, I'm almost there. This one curved part of the seam is not one to pull very easily. Okay, so every time I think I have the last stitch, there's one more. Okay, there we go. So let me pull all these little scragglies out. Let's try this again. Okay, and I'm going to take me just a small piece of stabilizer, put some temporary adhesive, and just stick it on here so it has something to stitch to, since I did rip it. And it doesn't really matter if this is lined up or not, because it's going to be trimmed off anyway. Okay, so let me cut a bigger piece this time. I have this already cut and I forgot I had it. Okay. So now hopefully we have this fixed. Now I'm paranoid I'm not going to have it in the right place still. Okay. We survived. Like I say, just disregard this at the bottom because that's just from where I messed up. That has nothing to do with the rest of it. Okay, so now I'm going to trim it and fold it down like we did on the other one. Hopefully learn from my mistake. I'm trying to get really up in these corners of this just so that ankle will turn good. You just don't want to leave too much and make it too thick. Otherwise it won't turn well and it will look chunky and clunky. So now that we have overcome that, see if I can get you guys where you can see it. So now take this and fold it down. That is actually long enough now. And then I'm going to put my next piece of doll fabric and liner fabric on top. Okay, let me cut my other piece of doll fabric. Okay. Oh, goodness. So I got an itchy eye. Okay. Making sure everything's covered. So be sure all of your first 2 layers are laid down nicely. And be sure this is covered. So again, you're going to have liner fabric, doll fabric, liner fabric. Your doll fabric should always be touching when you do this. Okay. So now, like I said on the last one, just watch when you get to this ridge here to be sure the machine doesn't catch it. It feels so late. It's only 9:46. I thought it was like midnight. It's been one of those time warp days where you just don't even know what day or hour it is. Watching this ridge. My thread keeps on breaking. I think it's just because this is so thick. It seems like it always breaks when it goes over that ridge. I need to change my needle anyway, but oh goodness, we are on the home stretch. So I just have the back of the head and the face left to do. And we'll be done. Okay. I thought my thread broke. Sometimes I can hear it, or sometimes I just imagine it. Just going to go ahead and work on cutting out the torso. it's just going to do those reinforcement stitches for the ankles and for the slip for the doll joint. Okay. So I've got my torso cut out, if you can see it. I gotta get the stabilizer out of the back. So here's the torso, the back of it. You can see that little flap right there. You're going to open it up, and that's how you're going to flip it. So you can see there, you open it up and just push it through, just like you're flipping a sock inside out. Get this flipped and I'll show you guys what it looks like. This is definitely thick using this material. I use my little trusty chopstick, skewer, piece of wood, whatever you call it, to help me get out all my edges. And what that noise is outside, I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. It's something making a noise. I don't know what it is. And so this Holly Dolly has shoulders, so be sure you push those out as well. And so there's the body. There's the shoulders and the neck and then the bottom. I've kind of got to go in and push those seams out a little bit more. It looks like it did not catch at the bottom, so I'm going to have to go back and manually sew that with the sewing machine. Okay, onward and upward. So now the back of the head, which is this one. I'm trying to decide if I could let's see. I'm trying to decide if I could fit both the face and the back of the head on one, because that would make my life a lot easier. Thread didn't cut. Sorry, I'm trying to get these designs just how I want them and how I need them. Okay. So let me get in this last piece of stabilizer. Like I say, I'm hoping I can do the head, the back of the head, and the front of the head on one piece. Woefully almost out of stabilizer once again. I feel like I'm always out of it. We've got just barely enough to fit in here. Like, you don't even know how close it is. Just barely. Okay, let me see if I can get you guys turned better. Okay, so, and I had to turn these sideways, so the back of the head is going to stitch this way, and then the face will stitch up here. So if it looks upside down to you guys, I apologize in advance, but that's the only way I could fit it. And like I say, this is my last big piece of stabilizer, so I had to kind of squeak it in there. Okay, so again, the first stitch is just placement stitch. that was my phone buzzing. I didn't know what that noise was. It scared me to death. I thought that was my machine making a noise, but have a conniption. So the head is pretty small in comparison to some of the other heads I've made. Working on trying to get this hand turned, but that always takes 1,000 years. Okay. So let's see. So you're gonna do the same kind of sandwich slash unfolding like we did with the torso. So let me get the fabric for that. Like I say, the head is pretty small, so you won't need a ton. Okay, so we're gonna make a sandwich once again. And I know you can't really see it on here, if you can see it, but there's a straight line that's right there. And that's my reference point. So I'm gonna lay this down and oops, go this way. This down, and then I'm gonna fold it. And then I'm gonna take that folded side and cover up that line. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading ahead in the direction so I can be sure I know what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, did my phone die? I think it did. Dadgum. I forgot to plug it in. Sorry, guys. I hope you can still hear me. I completely forgot to plug my phone in. I laid the charger right here and forgot to put it in. Let me let it get back to 1% and then I'll turn it back on. Sorry, guys. This is the second time this has happened. You'd think I would learn. That's probably what my phone was buzzing at me about earlier was, hey, your battery's low. And I didn't look at it. Something all the time. Okay, we're firing back up slowly but surely. Hopefully I can get this video back without it being glitchy. And on this one, you are going to put the ears on the back of the head, which is kind of weird to me. Usually I put them on the front, but I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if it's going in a seam anyway, but it's just kind of different than what I'm used to. Okay, we're almost there. It's loading. Let me see if it reconnects. Maybe. Let me try this. No, you guys, I don't know how to reconnect it. Oh wait, let me try this. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry guys, I'm not tech savvy in the slightest. Okay, let me try one more thing. If it doesn't work, I may have to do technical difficulties and come back later. Okay, we got it. Okay. Get this back in here once again. Okay, so sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm just having all kinds of struggles. Oh, now my thing isn't wanting to stay. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so 1/2 inch over the line. Okay. Now, like I say, this is stitching sideways, so sorry if it looks a little bit crazy, but that's the only way I could fit them both on my stabilizer. So this is the top of the head here. Like I say, I'm not quite sure how all this works and comes together, but we'll figure it out. This thread is not wanting to cooperate with me, guys, so I don't know what the deal is. I've got a mind of its own today. I guess it just was doing the satin stitch for the reinforcement, but it kind of got caught a little bit. I hope I have enough. I may have gone over too far. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the torso and trim around this. Same thing I did on the ankle too. Okay, I've almost got it. I gotta say, this is so thick, it's hard to cut through. Okay, so this is how, I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't think I can get my hoop in there all the way. That, and then this unfolds this way. But again, it's sideways in the hoop because that is the only way I can make it fit. Okay. Okay, so this is gonna, I can't talk. This is going to tack down this side and also have the ear dye line. I'm not understanding this head so far, but I'm just following the directions. just cut them out. This is very interesting. That is for sure. And I think these ears have a top and bottom. I'm pretty sure they do. So just be sure you put them go in the right direction. The side that's a little bit pointier is the top. Okay, so here's one ear trimmed. You guys can see it. And then you just flip it inside out, or actually outside in. I don't even know. Okay. So I'm just going to flip this very carefully. Make sure you don't pull any stitching. And then I'm going to take my little chopstick and just kind of push it in there. And be sure all the seams are pushed out. Okay. And you can kind of see, maybe, I can get my camera to focus. Sorry, my thing is a mirror image and it's super hard for me to do it. This side is a little bit pointier, so that's the side that goes up. So this is, I'm going to take this and put it this way with the ear in. I'm going to tape that. I have some regular masking tape floating around, but I don't know where it is. Okay, I'm going to tape that right there, and then it says take another piece of fabric at least 4 inches wide and lay it over the longer die line, letting it overlap the ear. This is very interesting. I guess it's made this way so she can have a rounder head, I guess. I'm not really sure. Okay. So I'm going to about half this and cut this. Okay. So then this is going to go, and this is going to cover that tack down line here. And then it's going to stitch another just straight line, which is also going to tack down the ear. I really don't want to use that tape because it has a tendency to get caught. I can just use a smaller piece. Okay, maybe that'll be enough to hold it anyway. And just watch when you get to that ear, make sure it doesn't catch and doesn't rip it off or anything. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to unfold this piece. And there's my ear right here. I've got this piece. So then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. It's just going to be in reverse. So I'm just going to stitch a tack down line first of all, and the ear placement stitch. Make sure that fabric's not sticking out too much there. I like to get caught. Then it's going to do the ear placement stitch. Cut out my other ear. My husband's work phone ringing. He's on call night. He works maintenance for our apartment complex. Must have got a call. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this ear inside out. Okay. So I'm going to use my little chopstick and push it out. Okay, so there's the placement stitch for the ear. So I'm going to do the same thing. Make it face in. And then I'm going to get another piece of fabric, just like I did on the other side, and put it on again. Okay, and again, just watch when you get to the ear, be sure it doesn't get caught. It has a tendency to do so. If you feel like your ear is shifting or it's not where you want it to be, then just go ahead and stop and fix it and then carry on. Okay. So now, this is what the back of the head looks like, if you can see it. So this is upside down, so this is the top of the head here. So I did this one and then folded it and then did the same step to go this way and the same thing to go this way with the two ears. So I'm not quite sure how this is all going to play out yet, but we will figure it out. So let me very carefully rip this up out of the stabilizer because I'm going to have to use it for the head. I can think of the words I'm trying to say. And obviously you don't have to stitch this on the same piece of stabilizer and make a whole big deal out of this like I'm doing, but this is my last big piece of stabilizer and I didn't want to have to switch to cutaway. Okay. So now now I'm going to move on to the head. So this is just a placement stitch for the head. Okay. Ugh, my husband let the cat in and now she's on my fabric. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to trim the back of this head to make it not look so crazy. Okay, so for the head, I'm gonna need a piece of liner fabric and a piece of skin fabric. Okay, so I'm gonna put my liner fabric. Make sure I've got my stretch going in the right direction. So all that's covered. And I'm just gonna stitch the tack down line for this. And you have a lot of options with these faces, a lot of options. The biggest thing you need to know is do not stitch them all. You just select what you want, and whatever you don't want, you just skip on fast on the machine. Let me see if I can get you guys a little better. No, I don't know what's better. Sorry, I'm not a good camera operator. Okay. So on the directions, it tells you the first part of the face after you do the tack down stitch is the whites of the eyes. So you'll always stitch that. And you don't have to use water soluble on top of this. You can if you want, but it doesn't really have a pile, so there's not really a need to. I think I'm going to use this color for the eyes. Madeira 1090 piece. I want to say it's called Bluebird, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And so on the face, you're going to have the choice of 2 different glasses, freckles, and 2 sets of lips. It looks like for the lips, the first set is a satin stitch, a really, really wide satin stitch, and the second one is a fill stitch, which I'm just going to do the fill stitch because it doesn't snag like a satin stitch does. Okay, so after the whites of the eyes, then you're going to change to whatever color you want your eyes to be. I'm going to do mine blue. If I can find my thread cap. There it Okay. So now I'm going to stitch the eye color. Doll face is my favorite to stitch. I'm trying to decide if I want to give her glasses or not. They're some really cute. They're like, I guess you'd call them horn rim glasses, but they're really cute. I can't decide if I want to put them on her or not. I wear glasses, so I have kind of a tendency to like glasses, but I have to have my glasses. I'm about blind without them. Pregnancy stole my eyesight. That's funny. I never realized how blind I was until I got glasses. I was like, oh, I don't see double of everything. Okay, so this is the iris color. So after, or no, I'm sorry. Okay, this is the eyelashes. So you don't have to do this. She says you can put false lashes on the doll. Since this is probably going to end up going to a kid, I don't trust it with fake lashes. If it was for an older child, maybe, but I would be worried they would come off and eat them or something. So I'm just going to stitch the eyelashes. Wish I could get this camera in closer for you guys so you could see better. Well, there's a little bit better. Which is not really a good way. And it keeps wanting to fall on me. Tighten this up. There we go. Okay, so next is just going to be the pupils of the eyes, and let's see, the like eyeliner. Just gives the eyes some depth and dimension. Like I say, the big thing to remember with the face is just don't stitch all the steps, because otherwise your doll will have 2 sets of lips and 2 pairs of glasses, and it will look really crazy. I'm trying to decide what color I want to do for the eyebrows. think that one's pretty good. It's Madeira Rayon 1082, which I think is coconut cream. I'm glad I went with these eyes. I really like them. I like the lashes. I was worried I wouldn't, but I do like it. I think this was the Ivy face. I don't remember. I said at the beginning of the video, but I don't remember what it is. Trying to work on flipping this hand. I still haven't even gotten one flip yet. I think I may try a different method with the second one though. Okay, so after that, you're going to stitch the eye highlights, which just kind of makes it look like the light is reflecting on her eyes. I'll switch back to more white. Sorry, I don't have much room to work with stitching here. Okay, or work with threading, I mean. Okay. Which on the computer it shows it has 2 eye highlights, but I guess it doesn't. Oh, it's probably showing a different base actually. It is on the computer. Okay. Now I'm going to do the eyebrows. And I'm going to use this kind of skin tone color because I don't want it to stick out too much. Obviously, you can do whatever color you want, but I think this is pretty close to realistic. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to do the fill stitch lips because I don't want to do the satin stitch. So I'm going to, it does the top lip and bottom lip in 2 separate steps. Let me look at her lips and see what kind of color she did. Okay, so she did them the same color. Okay, so I'm going to grab some pink. And like I said, just be sure you don't stitch all 4 lips. You only want either 2 satins or 2 fills. This pink. I want it to be pretty pink, but I don't want it to be too hot pink. I think this one is called bubblegum pink, I want to say. Maybe not. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to get my camera to focus. I keep hitting it. I'm going to stitch the top lip the same color. You can stitch them different colors if you want, but I want mine to be matching. Then it says, let's see. Okay, so she uses black for her mouth line. So I like the look of that, so I'm going to do that one. Cut off these little stragglers. Now we're going to do the nose. Okay, so this one only has one type of nose on some of the faces for the other dolls, like baby, I think baby Juno does. I know the Swaddle Sweeties, they have several nose options, but with this one there's only one. trying to figure out what this next stitch is. It's just the nose. It's hard to tell sometimes. Okay, so I don't want freckles, so I'm going to skip that. Don't want glasses. Don't want glasses. Oh, there's 3 sets of glasses. Okay, I thought there was only 2. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the last step. Let's switch back to my other thread. This part is going to be interesting. Okay. Let me go and open next part. Okay. Okay. I think I'm understanding this, but I'm not entirely sure. Because this headpiece is like majorly a lot of fabric. Okay. Okay. Should be interesting, y'all. Should be interesting. Okay. So let me get you guys back over here. So this is the back of the headpiece I made earlier. So I have that, and then she says underneath. I still do not really understand what. Okay. Okay, so make sure your ears are pointing inwards. So you don't want them to get sewn into the eyes. Or the head, I mean. So I guess I'm just supposed to line this up with this. I don't know, the directions are not super clear here. Because you've got a little, I don't know if you guys can see it, that little placement stitch there, and then I guess you just line up the seam with that. So what I'm gonna do anyway. Hopefully it's right. Okay. Trying to see which way this thing is stitching first. Well, it should be interesting. Say I'm not entirely sure the purpose of this, but I promise. Okay, be sure my ear is in. this. Trying to get this where it's going over the seam okay. It's not going to get caught. Okay. Double check. Okay, I'm not fully understanding this head. This is different than any heads I've made on any other dolls, but I'll roll with it. Just watch when you're coming around these seams. And just be sure that it doesn't get caught. Very interesting. Definitely curious to see how this is going to look when I cut this out because I don't know. Probably going to have to go back and cut that a little bit to make it where it will turn. Oh, okay, that's that. All right, let me turn you guys back up here. I can get my little phone holders to stay. Okay. Well, I don't know about it, but we'll figure it out. I am very curious about this. Okay, so I'm just going to take all the stabilizer off. Got to take my trash out because it's overflowing. Okay, let me get this pulled out and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so this is the back of the head. Just like I say, these side pieces here, that's how it showed. It's not supposed to connect, so it looks a little bit weird. This is the inside. I don't really care about the threads or anything on the inside because it won't be seen anyway. So I'm just gonna cut it out because that's what it says to do. So here goes nothing. I feel like I'm gonna turn this and have like an aha moment and be like, oh, so that's what they were doing. Okay, I'm gonna trim this one little piece. Okay, well, here goes nothing, y'all. Turn this and see what the heck this looks like. Hopefully I don't destroy it on the way. The only downside to using this thicker jersey is it's a lot harder to turn. But it does make it nice and thick, and it feels like it's more quality made rather than something really thin. This is easier said than done. Oh, almost got it. Okay, so let me use my little skewer and do a run around because I think this doll has a more prominent chin too. So I guess, so when you turn it, I don't know if you can see it very well, how it kind of made that extra, sorry, I'm in reverse, this extra panel there. That's all it is. So I guess it's just kind of like an extender of sorts to kind of give her a more rounded head. Um, not entirely sure. I feel like it was a lot of work for not much reward, but oh well. Trying to get this blue tape off now. That's why I hate using it. I have masking tape somewhere, but that's where it is. Okay. Well, either way, I think it turned out pretty good. So let me trim off all her rogue threads. I feel like this is the most realistic face I've done. Okay, so there's the face, which it looks kind of scrunchy, so it doesn't have any stuffing in it. But anyway, okay, so now I have an arm left to cut out and both legs, and I think that's it. I am trying to get this arm to turn, and I am not having much luck. See if I can show you guys, because I've got the rest of it flipped, but I just cannot get those fingers to flip. Anyway, I'll show you guys how I cut out the arm. Oops. So I kind of already trimmed around it big, but you can see this gap right there. Sorry, this is reverse and it's so hard for me. Okay, right here. And you're gonna leave a little tab of fabric when you cut that. And if you're using big fabric scissors like I'm using, just be sure you don't get too close to the stitching and be sure you don't cut through any of the fingers, because these larger fabric scissors do not show any mercy. They will cut through whatever. And so when I'm first cutting out the arm, I don't worry about the fingers until I get the rest of it cut out. That's just easier for me. And if you're doing the non-finger version, then you don't have to worry about this. You can just cut it out because all the edges are more flat. Okay, so I have this hand I've not cut out yet. Going around the thumb is probably the easiest one just because there's the most space. And when you cut it, let me see if I can show you guys. You want to get really close up into the little, I don't even know what it's called, where the fingers meet. You don't want to cut through your thread, but just get as close as you can because otherwise your fingers are going to pull and they're not going to lay right. Okay, just a bit stabilizer in there, but you can see I'm kind of coming around. So that's pretty good. And if you want to trim it down closer, you can, but I just don't like to get too close because then um, you risk trimming or you risk snipping your stitches. Okay, so let me cut out this leg. I'm interested to see how this ankle worked. Interested to see how the ankle worked out. I swear, y'all, I can't talk. And I'm not cutting those satin, the reinforcement stitches it did for the ankle. I'm just leaving those and just kind of trimming out and around those. And again, where there's an opening, you're going to leave a tab so it's easier when you sew it closed. And when you sew it closed, use a ladder stitch. If you don't know what a ladder stitch is or you don't know how to do one, just Google it, and there's plenty of diagrams or YouTube videos, whatever, that will show you how to do it. It's super, super, super easy, but it essentially makes the stitching invisible and it blends right into the other seam so you can't tell where it's sewn up. Okay. Rip the stabilizer out of the leg. Okay, so that's what the back side of the leg looks like. There's the other side. So we will flip it and see what it looks like. Hopefully it doesn't look too crazy. These are some seriously long arms and legs too. I guess because it makes such a big doll, but like for the baby Juno and stuff, the legs are a lot shorter. These are really long. And I just try to get as much as I can um, by hand. And then once I get as much as I can, then I use my little chopstick and just push it on through. Gonna try to close out of some of this stuff. I think it's making my computer run slow. Okay, well, I'm starting to flip it. You can kind of tell. Sorry, this is not easy. Oh my goodness. Every time I think I've about got it flipped, it doesn't flip. It's hard when you have like the ankle or the fingers or something that makes it have more fabric that wants to bunch. Okay, well, this is taking a long time, so I'm probably just gonna go flip this and then I'll show you guys on my next video. Like I said, I've got to order some more doll joints so I can assemble her, and I've got to get some hair. Um, so hopefully on my next video I can show you, I'll either already have her assembled or I will assemble her for you guys, because it's gonna take me a while to fish these out. Definitely use a skewer of some kind. You will not be able to do this with just your hands. Anyway, so that was a wild ride. Um, but here we are. I have all the pieces. Like I said, I just got to flip them and stuff them and get doll joints and all that fun stuff. But I am not sure when I'll be back. Um, I probably won't be back till after I get doll joints, just because so many projects require them, and I hate just having a bunch of pieces laying around not being able to put them together. Um, so probably sometime next week. I've been trying to take some time off lately just because I've been so busy and just life. But but I will be back. Like I say, probably next week. Um, I hope you guys found this tutorial informative and helpful. If you have any tips or tricks, please let me know, because I was struggling on a lot of this, but we made it through. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will. I was gonna say I'll post a link, but I don't even know how to do that back on one of my videos. But I get my doll joints from Serendipity Doll Works on Etsy. And there's another place too. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. I want to say it's like AB Supply or 63 something. I don't remember. But they have doll joints as well, and they ship fast. Um, but anyway, I will see you guys next week. I hope everyone has a nice, well, almost weekend, going into the weekend. And I'll talk to you guys later.